Well, hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Welcome to FireTalk, where we take a look around at what's happening in the world of SEU's athletic program. And I'm your host, Ken Ingle, president of Southeastern University. My co-host and director of athletics, Drew Watson, is traveling today. So we have our award-winning Donnie Smith, athletics director of communications, standing in. How you doing, Donnie?
Great. Thanks so much for having me. Looking forward to filling in today.
Yeah, we're going to have a great conversation. Today we have a special head coach with us, and that's Randy Lee. Joins us to talk about the big wins that men's fire basketball had this season, making it to the final Sweet 16 of the NAIA National Tournament. And it's great to have you with us. Coach, the team won the Sun Conference regular season and conference tournament for the second time in program history. I'm correct on that, right?
I believe third time.
Third time.
Yes,
okay. All right. Want to make sure we had that correct. I want to take a look at the final seconds of the conference championship against a very tough St. Thomas team, a big rival of SCU Fire basketball. So let's watch the highlights of this.
Yes, sir.
I think what stood out was just the crowd support during that tournament, really during the entire second semester, starting in that Florida College game. You guys had a great crowd. How much did the support of the students this year mean to your guys?
Yeah, the Furnace has always been a great place to play. The student support, the faculty, obviously Dr. Ingle's always in the house as well. It's always great to see the support of the university as a whole, just the energy they bring, and then they live in the moment, so it's always great to have that sixth man always with us.
Yeah. Now, what were the emotions as you watched this and there's a big celebration? I mean, did you expect to win that? I mean, was that the?
Well, we expect to win all the games.
You expect to win all of them, right?
But it's one of those where just extremely proud and grateful for opportunity, but proud for the guys. A lot of hard work goes into it. Some rough patches, a lot like life. Where you have the rough patches in the road, and then. You stick with it and you overcome, and it's just great to see the celebration of the guys and the fans, and then also some other family members coming on the court to celebrate with their loved ones. So that's great.
No, it was an exciting evening, and you were able to. You also won the regular season conference, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so the regular season obviously is I think a lot to hang your hat on, because it's just a testament of what you do day in, day out, night in, night out to win that. So it's a challenging conference, and definitely talented St. Thomas team that was in our place.
Let's talk a little bit about the first and second rounds when you guys went to Alabama. We were hosting an opening round here, and all the coaches that I talked to, we were kind of talking about the draws, and it's like, I think you guys have a chance to win that. It's like, well, our record right now doesn't look that great, despite winning the conference championship and everything. Playing a team potentially that really kind of took it to us a little bit in December. What was the difference for you guys in that second trip to Alabama versus the first one?
Yeah, I think when we got sent to Montgomery, I think there's a little bit of the guys were like, we're on, we're flying. I'm like, no, we're back on the bus. And I think the comfort level for where we were headed, we'd done it before with the travel. We've been in the gym, been in that area, so our guys had some comfort level. There was a talented Union team that stood before us, and then our guys we played them the previous year and up at the show and beaten them, and so there's a little bit of comfort level there with who we were playing there, and then obviously a talented Faulkner team who we had experience with, and again, I think just the way our team came around throughout the year, it was a build-up for the culmination rather than we peaked early, and so I think the togetherness really showed at the end.
And what was Faulkner's ranking going into that game?
I believe Union was third in the country prior to that, and then Faulkner was 13 or 14.
Okay, and you beat them on their home court, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So obviously talented program, both extremely well-coached teams and programs that had been built for a while, so it's obviously a tough place to play. They had a tremendous crowd support as well, and so we're thankful and blessed that we were able to do that.
Yeah, and first year as head coach, I mean, you've been with our program for several years now. How many years total?
This is a year, I think 7 or 8.
Yeah,
losing track and getting old.
No, and we've been so grateful with your leadership in the team, and now you're head coach. Tell us a little bit about what it's been like this year as head coach and leading the team.
Yeah, first off, I just want to thank a lot of the coaches before me. Opportunity to come back and work with Coach Lubbers, tremendous friend, excellent coach. So, want to make sure I thank him. And then also R.J. Barsh, prior to that, had the opportunity. And then prior to that, coaches like Dunlap and Scott Lang, I think laid the foundation for what we continue to be and strive to be. And so thankful for those guys and the players as well. But it's just a tremendous opportunity to coach in my hometown here at Southeastern, and blessed with a tremendous campus. What I'm selling is an easy product to sell, and I'm just blessed and thankful.
And it's recruiting time, right? I mean, you recruit all year,
Yes,
but this is a real key time, right?
Yes, sir. Time to close some of the deals, recruiting, and just want to make sure we bring in high quality and character. Donnie asked earlier about the transition from having some losses. We had some guys out, hurt and injured throughout the year, and really just the closest of our team and our guys with one another, and putting winning over individual egos, I think, really helped catapult us when we're on the court together. And so really recruiting-wise, looking for high academic culture guys that fit our institution's mission as well.
That's excellent. Yeah. Well, we were grateful for your leadership and what you're doing, and thanks for stopping by to have this conversation with us. We're proud again of what you've accomplished, and know next year, hopefully you're going to go even further. And I know that's your hope. And as you recruit, bring in the right players to make it work.
Yes, sir. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it.
And you can continue to join us and weigh in on any of these sports that we're going to talk about. We're going to go right now to softball. The Fire softball team is now, 9-1? Donnie, in Sun Conference?
In Sun Conference play, had a big come-from-behind win yesterday.
Yeah, beating Thomas 5-3 on a 3-run, 3-base error in the bottom of the sixth.
Yeah, we'll take a look at a clip here in a second. But after giving up a 2-run home run in the previous half inning, got 2 runners on. Haley Harrell set things up by getting on. Had runners at second and third. And let's take a look.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Yes.
So runners at second and third. And Coach Watkins is going to try the small ball approach and squeeze in a run here. Throw not quite where it needs to be.
So that allowed, yeah.
And then the hitter tries to go to second, draws the throw, which is huge. So that ties the game. The throw goes all the way to the wall, and the hitter scores. And the Fire have the lead and end up going on to win and pick up their 9th Sun Conference win of the season.
That's outstanding. So where are they ranked right now?
Right now, first place in the Sun Conference and ranked 17th nationally in the latest coaches poll.
Wow. No, they're playing well, and of course, they're still enjoying that national coverage that they got over the last few weeks, and their act of great sportsmanship.
What's neat to see there is Leah, who you had a chance to meet, and Chappell are 2 of the top hitters right now. So it's not been a distraction, and it's neat to see them rewarded in a way for what they did.
Yeah. And the team today has a doubleheader against Thomas?
Doubleheader coming up in about an hour, taking on Thomas 2 more games, and then they have a doubleheader on Friday against Florida National.
Okay, and that game, first game starts at 1 p.m. this afternoon, and
Yep.
then the next one will start approximately around 3. Then they face Florida National at 2 and 4 on Friday. So a busy home week for the team. So if you can, get out and support the team and go Fire with our women's softball team. And then let's talk about track and field. Last weekend, our outdoor Fire track and field had 4 athletes post top marks in the NAIA during the UCF Invitational. John Perez Dunn took first place in the 3,000 steeplechase. John also became the first national qualifier in the event in SCU program history. Also with the top time in the NAIA so far this year. So we want to congratulate John on that.
You ever have a chance to watch a steeplechase? Coach Lee, have you ever watched a steeplechase?
I have, actually.
It's got to be one of the more unique things.
Exactly.
You're going to jump on a balance beam, and then once on your 3 balance beams, you're going to jump into a puddle of water, and that's going to slow you down. It's really, I'd love one day to meet the person that came up with this concept and just kind of see what the development was, but it's a very difficult, strenuous event. 3,000 meters, you're jumping up onto this beam 3 times per 400 meters. Got a little bit of breaking news that might get me in a little bit of trouble, so I could need a presidential pardon a little bit later.
All right.
James Williamson III from our men's track and field team is going to be the NAIA National Athlete of the Week for his performance at UCF. Won the 200 meters against athletes from Bethune-Cookman and Clemson and UCF in 20.73 seconds. Was 4th in the 100 and also helped post the #1 time in the 4x1. So really had a great weekend. So congratulations to James. Keyshawn Franklin had a great week as well. school record of 46.65 in the 400 meters. And again, beat a guy who was 7th in the ACC last year and beat another guy who was 3rd at the junior college championship.
Wow. And now, when will they national NAIA tournament?
Nationals is at the end of May, basically Memorial Day weekend.
Okay. Both men and women are at Embry-Riddle in Daytona this weekend?
Yep, another chance to get some more qualifiers.
And where are they ranked right now?
We haven't seen a track and field coaches rating index come out for outdoor yet,
okay.
But it's going to be hard to beat on the men's side.
Sure.
Be higher than the Fire right now because they've put out so many good performances, and again, four performances that were number 1 at the time, and really the potential to do a little bit more, even just to show the depth. The 4x400 team that we ran at the end of the UCF meet last weekend was technically our B team. And they ran a standard that was good enough to qualify for nationals.
Wow, no, they're doing incredible things right now. Let's turn to tennis. Our men's tennis team went 2-1 with wins over Hamilton St. Thomas last week. Team had a challenging weekend facing 2 of the highest-ranked teams in the NAIA on back-to-back days. We beat number 15 St. Thomas, but we lost to number 1 Kaiser 4-3. Women's tennis beat number 10 St. Thomas last weekend 4-3. This was a close battle that came down to the last match in the singles with sophomore Irene Lopez giving the Fire their first win over the Bobcats. That was since 2020.
Yeah, and a tight match. It's interesting when it comes down to one of those 3-3 matches. They're going back and forth off of the doubles point and everything, and then it comes down to one. So a lot of pressure because all your teammates are going to make their way over. All the other team's players are going to make their way over. All the fans that were there, they had great support over the weekend as well. Everybody's watching that one match. It's like center court at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, every mistake is amplified. You've got all the focus on you. Irene had a great job coming through in that match as just a sophomore, coming up with the clinching point. Played Kaiser on Saturday. Again, this is a team that's probably going to win the national championship. They beat Georgia Gwinnett earlier this year. But I think they got a chance to kind of see what that level looks like and going to have another chance to face them probably in the conference championship. So it's interesting to see athletes, once they face a certain level of competition, they're usually able to rise to it a second time. The lineup's probably going to look a little different from Kaiser, considering how close it was. But still, you had a chance to see it and a chance to adjust.
Yeah. Now, when's our next home game?
Next home game, I think, is next week.
Our match, yeah, next week. Okay, great. We want to come out and home where they play. The courts are over
right on Edgewood and Cleveland Heights.
Yeah. All right, so let's get out and support our tennis teams. They're doing incredibly well. Let's talk about beach volleyball. Our beach volleyball team is getting hot at the right time at the Sun Conference matches in Miami against Florida Memorial and St. Thomas. We dominated in both matches, 4-1 and 5-0, and I think the team is now 5-2 in conference. Heads to Weber this weekend to play William Carey, Mobile, and Loyola, right?
Yeah, a couple of key wins there as well. St. Thomas and Florida Memorial both had really good indoor seasons, so a lot of those players making their way over to the sand. Fire have won 5 of their last 6 matches, so like you said, peaking at the right time. 3 big matches this weekend. Those 3 teams are all receiving votes in the coaches poll, so a chance to possibly get back into the mix a little bit.
Yeah. Let's talk about golf. The women's golf team placed 4th at Music City Invitational over the weekend with Marley Schmidt making the all-tournament team. She had a second-place finish.
Finished tied for 2nd.
Yeah, it looks like the team played extremely well in the second round and was able to beat Division I Belmont, which was on their home turf, right?
Yeah, pretty close, right around the road.
Yeah, no, they're playing well as well. Let's talk about baseball. Baseball won its 3-game series against Warner, 5-2, 7-0, and 8-6. This brings their record to 33-1.
33-1.
No pun intended about this, but this team is absolutely on fire. Absolutely on fire. I mean, they are the world champions, right? And they are headed to Ave Maria this weekend for a 3-game series. And what should we take away for this upcoming series?
Yeah, I ran into some challenges last weekend. Obviously, Warner being a big rival, they're going to play you as well as possible. So I think it possibly exposed some things for the team to work on in practice this week. Pitched pretty well for the most part, especially on Friday night. And then Saturday, just able to come up with a couple extra runs that we needed and hold off a late charge. Reese Wissinger picked up 2 saves on the weekend. Reese is a phenomenal closer, but since not many of the games have been close. He hasn't had many save situations. So finally picked up 2. I think now has 3 on the season. This is a team, Ave Maria, that we played in a non-conference game, but they threw their top 3 pitchers in that contest. So I think we got a pretty good look at what we could expect this weekend.
No, it should be a good series. And how many of our athletic teams are ranked nationally right now? We have several, right?
Yeah, several. The tennis polls just came out today. The men are still 6. The women moved up to number 5. Softball's number 17. Baseball's number 1. Both golf teams are in the top 10. So it's been a very successful spring.
Yeah, no, we have a great athletics program here and excited about everything that's happening. And we want to make sure everybody can get out and support Fire Athletics. And again, we always put out the word for when games are on home turf, so you can come out and check them out. But we're excited. So thank you for listening to today's Fire Talk. Donnie, it was great to have you come in and fill in for Drew while he's on the road. And of course, Coach Randy, thank you for stopping by and sharing with us. Make sure you visit scufire.com for the latest news in fire athletics. You can find the calendar there, which will give you all the home games that you can support here in Lakeland. And of course, there's a link to watch all the games when they're on the road and catch those. But thanks, everyone, and let's go Fire.